Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It's Tuesday, March 13, 2018. It's 4:39 p.m. in Toronto. So I just went out to do some errands. Went to the drugstore and the grocery across the street. And here are some comments I heard. And I heard the name. Actually, I'm not going to say the name. Black person, black woman doesn't want her anymore. She's too obese. She's too fat. Um, Rick, I heard the name Rick, is sending a big black N-word into me. Um, she's a whore. She really used to be a prostitute before, years ago. Um, and she F's herself. These are normal comments. Um, so there is an incident that I wanted to talk about. The main reason I'm doing this is while I was in a drugstore, I was looking at the lipstick that was on sale, and it was just a very narrow shelf. So I was standing directly in front of it, and narrow in the sense that it took up a little bit of space, just a small space. So everything else was within reach of anybody else who wanted to get any of the other products. Um, and so I was standing there checking out the um, the shades of the lipstick. And while I was doing that, just directly in front of me, and this happens all the time. The Chinese girl um, came up directly beside me, very close beside me, and reached in front of my eyes, in front of my mouth, to get a lipstick on the counter in which I was, you know, trying on the not the counter, the shelf that I was trying on my shade of, exactly right next to it. And she reached right in front of my nose without saying, "Excuse me." So I turned around and I said, "Could you please wait until I'm done? I wouldn't be long." And she looked at me with this look on her face. And so I thought maybe she didn't speak English very well. So I said again, "Could you wait until I'm done? I'm not going to be very long. Um, could you just wait until I'm done?" Because what happens in these cases is that these people reaches in front of me, standing very close to me, and they touch me, on the hand, on the arm, on the back. And then they call the cops and they say that I'm groping them. So this is the reason I turned around and I said to her, "Could you please wait until I'm done?" And then she seemed to understand. Maybe she didn't speak English well, I'm not sure. But and then she went to another shelf. Um, and then so I thought that was fine. But then this tall Caucasian woman, but 5'8", hefty. Maybe she was an undercover something. Um, she said, "How rude," and I ignored her. And then she said, "You're so rude. You shouldn't be talking to people like that." She instigated a situation that she was about 8 feet away, and she started instigating the situation with me. This is what I mean by instigating situations. These are perpetrators who are standing around me trying to instigate a situation and engage me in an argument and escalate it. Then they'll call the cops and say, "Oh, gee, look, she's inciting anger and she's instigating situations, promoting discord," or whatever they'll tell the cops. And the cops, of course, knowing I'm a target, these things are going to be believed. This is what I think cops will do anyway. This is my suspicion. Um, because in the past they haven't believed anything I said. But this is a really, really good example of instigating situations. So I said to the lady, this is none of your business. Stay out of it. She said, no, I wouldn't stay out of it because you're not supposed to be so rude to people. So I said, I wasn't being rude to the person. I was trying actually to let her know that, I'm dealing with an item on the shelf and she should wait her turn. That wasn't being rude, something along those lines. And of course, she escalated it, at which point I walked away. Again, I said to her, it's none of your business. And I walked away. So, had I stood up there and argued with her, it could have escalated and they would have called the police and you would have had a incident recorded in the police log. Maybe she didn't call the cops because, of course, I heard that somebody has the feedback, the envelope open, the file open, and they're getting feedback about me. So they're leaving it open. Whoever's names is on the account based on suspicions are getting feedback from the public about me. So this is a really, really good example of instigated situations that I de-escalated after I made myself very clear what the situation was. I walked away. And just the opposite is being reported about me. If the videos were being pulled at the drugstore that I was at, uh, you would see exactly what happened. And this is exactly what happened. I didn't videotape it, I didn't record it. It's getting to be almost the norm in this area, especially. I heard that the Chinese are surveilling the account. They've reported all the suspicious activity in relation to myself, and they're monitoring me. Prime example of monitoring, quote unquote. So um, there should be no flag on my file. My name should be taken off the list. It's creating a lot of stress, as you can tell. I immediately de-escalated because I really, health-wise, I cannot afford to let it escalate. I just can't. So, and I can't call the cops. So of course I'd have to leave the location and just stop the argument and stop the talking and just walk away, which is exactly what I did. But this doesn't stop people from coming at me, as in the grocery store right after this incident. So, instigated situations. This is how the not only the Chinese ethnic group is doing it, or any ethnic group that is that is part of the group. Uh, Excuse me. There's a monitor on the account, and whatever ethnic group that he belongs to, that ethnic group comes to give feedback to him or her. In this case, it just happens to be the Chinese. It would be any other ethnic group. So this is not a racist comment. These are not racist comments that I'm making. And I'm not targeting the Chinese. It just happens that I'm in a predominantly Chinese area, so most of the harassment will be done by Chinese people. Um, you know, that's just the way it is. If I were in a Caribbean area, the harassment would be done by Caribbean people. So really, it's not about race. This is not about race. This is about this is about targeting. This is about bullying people, which runs right across every ethnic group in the world globally. Anyway, I'm gonna stop there. It's cold outside, as you can tell. Have on my winter gear again. Windy. Feels like about -10 out there, so explains my hat and scarf. But you did this as soon as I walked through the door because um, it's one way to deal with my frustrations, and of course, the other reason is to let the public know and the police know that there is no cause for concern. I wasn't escalating any situation. Excuse me, I wasn't instigating any situation. The situation was being instigated by a perpetrator. Maybe she was an undercover something. I don't know. Talk to you another time.